Doing okay.
Good. Did you have a good weekend?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good. And we might have a little reverberation going on.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
Yeah.
I turned mine down.
Let's see. We'll chat a little bit more and see how that goes. All
I
right.
did the exact same thing I did last time we were on.
All right. Louise, let me hear you say something so I can hear if we've got it going on again.
All right. I think last time Tina's phone was muted.
Yeah, that's probably.
All right, let me
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, if both microphones are on at the same time, we usually get a little reverb with, so we usually have to mute.
Hold on.
Brody, come. Thank you.
Okay, I muted it.
There, I think we're good now. Excellent.
That's
Yeah.
better.
Very good. Yeah, usually as long as it just gets a little bit crazy when you hear it kind of bouncing off. Excellent. Very good. All right. So today we're going to start working on some impulse control. Hi. We're going to start working on some impulse control exercises. I know you said you also wanted to work on his barking, so we're going to do that. But before we get into that, I want to touch base with you and see how things are going from our session on Friday. I know you didn't have lots of days to practice, but you've had a couple of days to start implementing some things, and I wanted to see how they were going.
Yeah, we only were able to take them together one day, but it went okay. I mean, he whenever he looked at her, we gave him a little piece of hot dog and praised him. He would look at her, but wasn't really too concerned with her. He became more interested in the hot dog.
Okay.
The only time he seemed to really focus in on her was when she got ahead of him in the walk. There were actually three boys who were fooling around that were ahead of us, and she was pulling to get to them, and then he was really just paying attention to her more. I guess her energy level kind of went up, and so I think he was reacting to that. It just kind of reminded me of how he would react to Georgie in situations. Like, he wasn't barking, but he was, definitely noted that she was ahead of him, and I don't know if he didn't like that or whatever, but he wasn't barking or growling or anything like that. He just was definitely more focused on her.
Okay. Yeah. So going back to rewarding him every time he sees her, we just want to make sure that you keep doing that. Now, he doesn't have to do anything else except notice her. So anytime he looks at her, so even if he is looking at her, but then looks away, and then sometimes when we're using high value rewards, of course, that's why we use them, because dogs really like them. The dogs will look at us and be like, hey, but I'm adorable. Don't I get another one? Nope. You don't get anything for looking at me adoringly. You don't get anything for trying to shake or do any of your cute tricks. That only happens when you see her. So even if he starts focusing on you, he gets nothing. You can even stop and pause on your walks a couple of times. So you can extend the time you're working. Instead of just 10 minutes of walk, you can stop and pause for a minute or two. Let her sniff around, whatever it is that she's interested in. Let him watch her from afar. Every time he looks at her, he gets a high value goodie. If he looks at you, nothing. If he sits and he tries to give paw, he gets nothing. He just gets something anytime he looks at her. So you can even stop and just let him look at her, because when you're walking, that's helping us associate good stuff happening with them together, doing this walk together. But we also want to work on some counter conditioning and desensitization. And that could be a little harder to do if he's walking and focused on sniffing everything every couple of feet, because that's natural for dogs. So if you stop and you let him work for a minute or two where he notices her, then that will help. And then you can go about your walk a little bit. Stop. Okay. Let him work for another minute or two where he notices her. But again, he doesn't get anything for being adorable. He only gets stuff for noticing her. We want to start making that association. Now, about how far apart were you walking?
It was hard. She doesn't walk on a leash, so
Yeah, she's just a puppy.
some of it is dragging her. It's not like we can, and we don't really have a situation where we are. So we have like this, I call it our easement, but there's a small walkway. I don't know
Right.
how wide it is that kind of separates some of the houses around here. So we kind of walked there. We tried to stay on separate sides, but she's a puppy. She's all over the place, and so we did the best we could to keep them apart. But there were times that they were pretty close, and then we moved them apart. And but he wasn't showing any aggression or anything like towards her at all.
Okay. And I know she's a puppy and she has no leash skills because she's just a puppy.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we want to try our best to keep them apart, because if they do get close together and you have like an oops moment, we're kind of setting our training back. This is why we want to make sure that we work on staying apart. So with her, because she doesn't walk so great on leash, you can bring something with you that's exciting. Maybe it's a crinkle toy or a squeak toy. You can bring some high value goodies with her. And when she's getting focused to go over somewhere else, just put something in front of her nose and lure her back where you are. You can play a game of Find It with her. And Find It is, without getting into how to structure the game, you could do a cheat sheet version of Find It where you just take treats, get her to focus on you, drop one down, drop one again, and just a little bit further. So you're almost dropping them where you want her to walk. So this way she's not going here and she's not going there. She's not being all erratic, going all over the place. This will help keep her in line, because what she'll do is she'll be excited, but once she knows you've got goodies, if you kind of drop one here and she eats it and then she looks around and you drop another one, you can keep walking where you're almost Hanseling and Greteling her where you want to go. Yeah. So we want to be really, really careful, because if they got really close, you noted they weren't showing any aggression, but you also don't want to take that for granted, because that's the whole reason we're trying to work on these exercises, to avoid any moments where he starts showing his teeth again, where he growls at her. We want to make sure that he is stress-free as possible so he can learn that she is good, not scary, and that good things happen because of her. So we really want to be careful. I mean, he's bigger, so it's hard, if he doesn't walk well, he can drag us easier. A little puppy, they're a little bit erratic, but we can get them and kind of keep them where we want them to be. If we kind of plant our feet in the ground, it's a little bit harder for them to drag us off to the left or the right. So try to keep them apart, because we do want to avoid any accidental moments that are going to set you back or are going to hurt her. And then of course, set Brody's training back. With regards to her kind of, trying to go forward faster and him paying more attention to her, what did his body language look like in that moment? Was it just, because a lot of dogs, when one dog starts walking faster, a lot of dogs just want to be like, oh, I want to get up there because I feel like I'm missing out. They got FOMO, fear of missing out. Some dogs will walk beautifully by themselves, but when you put a second dog there, there's that competition of who's going faster kind of along the whole lines. So, did you notice anything that might have been concerning? Did he seem more excited that he wanted to get from point A to point B, or was his body posture a little bit more aroused, not in a playful way, but because she was maybe doing something more and her energy level, as you explained, was higher? Was that seeming to stress him out, or was it more excitement about trying to get where she was because he didn't want to miss out?
I think it's more FOMO. I mean, he does have a lot of that. Even as, we prep things for her, toys for her to, she's up in her crate now, screaming. But, it seemed more that, she kind of went ahead, and I think she even sat down.
Okay.
She was looking at those, little boys. Little boys are very enticing to any dog, at least any dog we've ever had.
Yeah, especially when they're running around and doing stuff.
Yeah, so she kind of was very interested and sat up and was watching them, and so she was maybe 10 feet ahead of him. So he was more looking to, oh, what are you excited about? Let me get there type of thing.
Good. And that's what we want to just pay attention to. Some dogs will, when we work on things like counter conditioning and desensitization, depending on the level of the dog's dislike or how uncomfortable they are with whatever it is we're working on, sometimes we have to just be still, a little bit more less animated. So if we're working with a person, the person just appears and they're not talking and they're not bending over and tying their shoe and they're not doing any erratic movements, because that can stress a dog out who might not like people. Same with dogs. Anytime we're doing counter conditioning and desensitization with a dog who may be uncomfortable around other dogs, we usually start where the other dog is a little bit more calm and not running around and doing a lot of things, because that can actually stress the other dog out more, because the thing that they're upset about or nervous about or unsure about is now unpredictable. Before, when they're kind of just standing there, it's not that scary. Just like if there was a snake outside and you didn't like snakes and it was over there and you were okay, but as soon as it started to slither, you start to get a little bit more nervous, because is it going to slither to the left or the right, or is it going to come towards me? So when it becomes unpredictable, it starts to make you a little bit more nervous. So we just wanted to be sure and take note too. Was he just like, oh, there's good stuff going on over here, and that's what he was more interested in, and not, oh my God, her movements are kind of stressing me out. So we kind of wanted to watch. Good. That's very good. That's very good. So what I'm going to have you do is still walk for the next few days. Walk. You got one walk in between Friday and today. So let's try to get, instead of counting days, because it depends on how much you can do, let's do 5 more walks this week where you're at least 15 feet apart from each other, and work on that counter conditioning, desensitization, and associating a nice walk with her. So let's do 5 more of those. After that 5th walk, report in with me. Let me know how it's going. You can report in with me sooner. You can report in me on the 2nd walk and say, uh-oh, this happened, I'm not sure about it, or hey, things are going great. Let me know how it's going. But definitely by that 5th walk, let me know how it's been going for those 5 walks. At that point, we'll determine, instead of at 15 feet, if we're going to walk at about 10 feet or 12 feet. So really pay attention to his body language. If he's seemingly not caring very much, not because he's trying to avoid her, but because we feel that he's comfortable, we might be able to go about 10 feet. So pay attention to that. Let me know how that's going, and then we'll see if we can close the distance a little bit to 15 feet. From 15 feet to 10 feet. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Excellent. All right. So, Mr. Brody, he gets very excited when you try to take him outside to play, put on his leash, put on his harness, play with him outside, do anything that's going to elicit some excitement, right?
Correct.
Great.
Yes.
So we've got some jumping and some barking.
Yes.
All right.
Mostly barking.
Yeah. So we're going to work on some
barking.
I'm sorry?
Crying, whining, barking. Yeah.
Yeah. And now, about how much jumping does he do when he gets that excited
He
as well?
doesn't really jump. Does he jump?
You're lucky, because usually people get pummeled when they get the excitement going as well.
No, he will, like, not in these, if somebody comes in the house, he might jump a little bit, but he's, it's really just the barking. He's just barking.
All right. So we're going to work on some impulse control exercises for him, because he's showing us that he doesn't really have a lot of impulse control. He kind of wants what he wants when he wants it. And he's showing us through the way that he knows how, and dogs know how, is to try to get your attention and to try to get what he wants. It's kind of the equivalent of kids. Ma, 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 ma.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how much I love you, that's enough.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we're going to start implementing for him is a very simple Say Please program. The Say Please program is an automatic sit for anything he wants. That's the key. That's the secret to getting what he wants. If he's up and barking, he doesn't get anything. We're going to wait for him to do a Say Please default sit. We're not going to ask him to do it. He's going to do it automatically. It's going to be like it says, say please. Just like when we go to a restaurant, we say please. We don't say, give me more ketchup. We ask if we may please have some more ketchup. The dog barking is the rude equivalent of give me more ketchup. So what we want to do is we want to implement a Say Please program. It's automatic. Just like when you go anywhere, the pleases and thank yous come automatically. You pay, and somebody gives you back your change, you say thank you. Somebody holds a door open for you, you say thank you. you want something from somebody, again, you don't normally say give me or gimme, you say please. So we're gonna make it so this is his automatic please. So anytime he wants anything at all, anything that he desires, anything he wants access to, he has to sit first, and he does it automatically. We might have to coach him and help him the first couple of times because he might not know what to do. He may get frustrated because he doesn't have impulse control and he's barking at you. So now he might start jumping up because the thing that was getting him access to what he wanted before isn't working. And now he's going to try something new. So that's what dogs will do. If this doesn't work anymore, I'm going to try something else. So what we can do is we can actually grab a couple of things now that he might want. You can get his food bowl and put a little food in it. It doesn't have to be a whole bowl full of food, just a little bit of kibble. We can get something that he really likes, like one of his bones. It could be a toy that he loves. So see if you've got 3 things handy that we can use for him to practice this Say Please program. And then what we'll do is we're going to work with his leash or harness. But first, we're going to start with some easier items.
Okay, so he does not elicit that type of behavior when he's about to be fed.
Okay.
Surprisingly not.
Okay.
Sit already.
He when his food is being prepared, he's hanging around, but
Okay.
he is not barking, he's not losing his mind.
Okay.
And when he is fed, he sits first.
Perfect. Good.
The 2 times, tell me if I'm wrong, but the 2 main times that it's an issue is his ball
Okay.
and going for a walk.
Okay.
So the times that he absolutely, I mean, there's probably others, but
Those are the 2 that are leaping out at you.
those are the 2 main things. So
Okay.
if I right now just go get his ball,
Mhm.
he won't disappoint me, and he'll prove to me what he does. Prove to you.
Okay.
So I'm going
Right.
to leave you here.
Yeah. So what we
I'm
want to
gonna go-
do is, though, even if he's not barking at these other times, we want to instill this impulse control exercise anyway,
Okay.
because he might not bark at this moment for his food, and he might not bark at, whatever moment for something else. But we want to make sure we're implementing the program so he knows how to execute it in all these different areas. So you might be ahead of the game with the feeding, but we want to make sure that we practice it with every aspect. Anytime you give him a bone, we want to wait for him to sit. If you give him a good night cookie, wait for him to sit. If you're getting ready to give him a new toy that you bought at the pet store and you pull it out of the bag, wait for him to sit. We want that calm behavior. We want to start instilling that with a lot of other things that he does that has some level of excitement, even if it's not the over-the-top excitement with the walk or the ball. We want to make sure that he's got this down in every aspect so we can start transferring it over to the harder parts.
Okay.
When something's easier for a dog to do, they might not need as much practice with it, but we want to practice in the easier moments. So it's kind of like practicing a fire drill. We practice and we practice and we practice so we can use it in the time that we need most.
Okay. So this is his bowl and this is his ball.
Okay.
He sat down.
Okay, good. So, yeah.
Confused. He's confused right now.
Yeah.
Never put this together.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things. Sometimes we alter what we're doing because dogs are very good at patterns. So if we alter what we're doing, sometimes we can eliminate some of the bad behaviors that people don't like because, well, we've switched our routine up and now the dog doesn't know what to do because there's a whole new routine. So let's hide his ball for now. And let's just put a couple of pieces of kibble in that bowl or a few treats. It doesn't have to be kibble. It could be whatever you have handy.
He's very confused.
That's okay. Good. And now go ahead and put it down for him. Excellent.
Put it in the bowl and put it down?
Yep. I thought it was already in the bowl. Go ahead and just put it down for him. Go ahead. Good.
And make him stay?
Nope. He just has to sit. He's just saying please, which he's already doing. So go ahead and put that down. Good.
He knows that, so.
Yeah. So we
That's
want
easy.
him. We want him to do this for everything. And you're actually ahead of the game with this because most dogs don't know how to do this by the time they've come to me. So we're going to do this with everything he wants. Even though this is a simple exercise, make sure you're doing it every mealtime. Make sure you're doing it with everything you give him, everything he wants access to. If he wants to go outside, he's got to sit at the door first. If he wants to get in the car, he has to sit.
Sits and stays at the door.
Nice. So you guys are already ahead of the game with something.
Yeah, so let me tell you what, so if he's going out for a walk after I get him to calm down, he sits at the door. I got him to the point where I can open that door and he does not move.
Excellent. So you guys are this far ahead, which is great.
So the major things are the sitting at the door, and once he has his leash on, we've already been through all the barking and craziness, and he's
Okay.
calm, and then the ball.
Great. Yeah. So we might just jump right forward to the ball. We might just jump right forward to the leash. I just wanted to see how he was doing with some exercises and make sure that you guys know how to implement it with everything else. So it's everything he wants access to. If you're going to give him the pizza crust because you had Friday night pizza, don't just hand it to him. Wait for him to sit and say please, but don't ask him to sit. It has to be automatic because this is him using his brain saying, what should I do in this moment with what I want, no matter what it is. We want him to do it. We don't want to ask him.
For his food, he sits and stays automatically. You don't even need to say it anymore.
Perfect. And that's great. That's that great say please that we're looking for. And we want him to do it for everything he wants. So if you're going to give him some leftovers for dinner, before you give them to him, make sure he sits first, but don't ask him to do it. Make sure he does it all on his own. Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with his leash. So where do you typically keep his leash?
In the hallway.
Okay. And so he knows that's the spot where his leash is. And so if you start walking towards there, does he already start getting excited at a certain point? Because when you walk down the hallway, that means the leash happens.
Yes.
At about what point in the hallway does he start getting excited?
He will start, so this is, I don't know if this is smartness or just routine. So the afternoon is typically when I walk him.
Mm-hmm.
So in the afternoon, if I'm done with work and I go in our downstairs bathroom, he starts barking.
Okay. So
I go to the bathroom and then I know.
Oh, well, I want that too.
He smelled the high treats.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's when the commotion starts, and I'm in the bathroom, so I can't stop it before it's escalated.
Right. Okay. So dogs are very good at figuring out routines and figuring out things. This is why dogs who have separation anxiety get stressed out when their person is eating breakfast, because they know after they eat breakfast, the person might brush their teeth and then get their keys and leave. Dogs are very good about figuring out these routines and what comes next.
Okay.
They pick up on this stuff wonderfully. It's great for the stuff we like, not so good for the stuff we don't like. So what he's learned is typically when you're working, your routine is I work, I finally get up, now I gotta go to the bathroom. I go pee, that means my walk happens. So He starts getting excited because he goes, I know what's coming next. Just like some dogs, when you pull into certain places, they start getting excited in the car.
Oh, he does that too.
Yeah, so for dogs who do agility, sometimes they ride beautifully on the way to the agility arena, but then when they pull into the facility, the dog is starting to do this whole big excitement display because they know that they've arrived and what comes next is so much fun. Some dogs will even start barking or whining or crying or getting all excited when you turn on the street because they learn that that street now means the driveway's coming. Some dogs will start getting barky and whiny when you pull onto a certain road because they know that leads to the street, that leads to the driveway. So you see how it back chains where the excitement now all of a sudden just starts. So it's now some dogs, depending on how excitable they are, they see you get your agility bag and go in the car and they are excited the whole entire time because they knew that's where they're going. So what we're going to do is we're going to see about setting your camera up towards the hallway So we can start walking down the hallway and I can see exactly what he's doing and how we're going to proceed with our exercise.
Okay. Let's see.
You want me to hold it?
I'm not sure how to do. I guess she can see if I do it this way because she's looking at.
Yeah, sometimes we just put it on the ground and we tilt it down a hallway or at a door. Sometimes we prop it up on a counter or a chair. It all depends on.
See if you can see this way.
Perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Excellent.
Okay. So that's the hallway.
Okay. So you typically go out the front door.
Yes.
Okay, great. And his leash is located where in the hallway?
Right, right past this door here.
Right past that door. Okay.
Can't see it.
So-
It's hung up there.
All right. So let's make sure you've got your treats and we want to make sure they're hidden. So you want to make sure that they're in your pocket in a baggie, a trainer pouch. You might want to look into a trainer pouch for when you're out and about with training. It makes
Okay.
things
Yeah, that's
easier.
what
It
I
makes
was saying. We need that trainer pouch.
Yeah, and I can recommend one for you. I have my favorite one, which is called the Doggone Good Rapid Rewards Trainer Pouch. It's big enough to hold lots of goodies, so when you're out on a walk training, you're never going to run out. It's got a little spot on the side where you can tuck your roll of poop bags, and it's got a little slit where you can pull them out. It's got some spots on there where it's got a little pocket on the one side. That's where I keep my lip balm. It's got some secret compartments so you can put some money or debit cards in if you're going somewhere. Anytime I go somewhere, I don't bring a wallet or a purse with me. If I've got my dogs, it's my treat pouch and everything is in there because it's big enough to hold everything and it's not cumbersome. So I can send you that. So what we want to do.
Hey, one second. So we're a little out of norm here because normally his collar and his leash are hung up, but his collar, I just noticed it's not hung up. It's over there by the. So.
Okay. So what we'll do
Once I
is
grab that, he'll probably start. So.
yeah. So let's just work with where we are so we see what he does because he doesn't know his collar's not there.
Sure.
So we're going to see how well he does or what challenges he has because we might not even get to pick up the leash or if the collar was there while we're working on calm in the hallway. So once we get to the hallway, then maybe we'll have Tina hand you the collar and you can put it up. And this way we don't get him over aroused right to start. Right now, as far as he knows, this is normal. He doesn't know his collar is not there.
Correct.
All right.
So I should have treats.
Yep, you're going to have your treats. You're going to have them hidden. Now, what you can do is you can go walk away and come back like you're going to go. I don't know if he's standing by you or not right now or if he's watching.
He's right here.
Yeah. So if you want, walk away and then pretend you're going to go for a walk. So you can go back into the living room. You can leave your camera there, but just go walk away. Let him see what he's going to do. And then he'll follow you around and he might say, oh, this time we're going for the walk.
He can smell the treats in her hand.
Yeah, the dogs aren't dumb. They know when they can smell it. Just like when you're cooking dinner, their noses are going like crazy in there.
So you want me to go in the hallway with him?
Yep, I'm just going to have you walk softly with him. Good. Okay, so typically he'd be barking like a maniac by now.
He's trying to figure it out because it's off time. So he's
Okay.
not normally go anywhere right now. So
Okay, and that's fine because when we practice, we want to practice during the easier moments. So it's really hard. So a great example would be coming when called. We want to practice in the easier moments because we can't practice coming when called when our dog gets loose at the park because they're too excited at that moment. So we're going to practice during times where he can get it right because if a dog is getting it wrong more than right during a practice session, then they're not getting too many learning opportunities. So we're going to back up a little bit. I wanted to see what he did here. He's like, what are we doing, Mom?
put that down, yeah.
Yep. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have you walk back out. You can leave the gate open and he'll probably follow you because he goes, what are we doing?
He's waiting.
Or no, he's saying, guys, I think there he comes. Oh, he's so cute. All right. So what I'm going to have you do is I am going to have you walk and I'm going to have you treat him every 2 steps. And you're going to tell him good quiet as you're doing it. So you're going to say good quiet and then treat. Then another step, good quiet, and then give him a treat.
Good quiet. Good quiet. Ow.
He's chompy.
Oh, he's got teeth.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice. Good. Excellent. Good. Very good. Now let's walk over to his leash. Don't pick it up his leash. Just pretend you're reaching for it. So what I'm going to have you do is just make one movement and then give him a treat. Now give him a treat. Good. Take your hand away. Good. So you're just going to put your hand up and then take it away. So go ahead, put your hand up like you're going to get it. Now take it away and reward him. Good. And do that 5 more times.
He would normally be barking his full head off.
Mm-hmm.
So this is good.
Yeah, because he's getting it right. So if we practice 5 times, he's getting it right 5 times, as opposed to him barking his fool head off, not getting it right at all, and us trying to get him to do it. So it's like a fire drill. We practice and we practice and we practice and we practice during the times we don't need it, so we can start implementing it when we do need it. Good. Excellent. So now let's walk back away.
I had to show him I didn't have any more.
Yeah, you're like a blackjack dealer.
Blackjack dealer, that's right. That's
You got to do the whole, look, I got nothing. Good. Excellent. Now you're going to walk down the hall again. Tell him good quiet. Now make sure you say good quiet first before the treat comes. So good quiet, then reach and give him the treat.
Good quiet. Good quiet. Good quiet.
Good.
Good quiet.
Now let's come back to the leash and let's reach for it 5 more times and reward him each time like you did before. Nice.
he knows he's getting it.
Nice.
He's such a smart dog.
Dogs are brilliant. A lot of people just don't give them enough credit.
Oh, I give him all the credit.
Dogs figure out all these little things, and that's why I always tell everybody when they bring a puppy home, whether you realize it or not, your puppy is learning every moment of the day, whether you're setting up a practice training session or not. You might say, I'm going to practice with my puppy at 3 o'clock. But from the moment your puppy woke up till 3 o'clock, your puppy's already learned what's working and what doesn't work. So dogs are brilliant. I think they are fantastic and they're so fun to watch.
Smarter than humans.
Great. So now what we're going to do is we are going to touch the leash and wiggle it slightly. So you're just going to reach up and touch it, wiggle it slightly, then reward him.
Love to get a reaction out of him, but he's not doing it.
That's okay. I always tell people, if the dog is not reacting, that's okay. I don't have to see it. Good. And then put it right back down. Good. I don't have to see it. I know what a crazy barking dog looks like for getting a harness on or a leash or a collar. I know what a dog looks like when they bark and lunge at another dog. If he's doing all that, it's going to be harder for him to learn during our sessions. So it's better that he's not, so he can learn and get the most out of our sessions.
Wow.
Nice.
This is amazing.
He doesn't even care that I'm touching it. He just wants.
Right. Try to keep your goodies hidden behind your back, though. Even though you don't have a trainer pouch yet, but hide them behind your back. So
Okay.
He's not focused on the goodies in your hand. He'll know you still have them, but when we hide them, he tends to look around a bit more and not focus on, there's hot dogs in the palm of her hand. Excellent. Good. Okay, I'm going to have you do that 5 more times. Nice. Now, typically we work in sets of 5, and if the dog works well, we amp up the difficulty. I'm having you do a couple rounds of 5 just so I can see, in case the more we do it, he gets a little more excited.
You look bad, Birdie.
Nice. Beautiful. Okay. Now I'm going to have you walk away, and then I'm going to have you go back down the hallway, rewarding him again. Good, quiet, and treat. When you get to the leash this time, you're going to pick it up for a brief second and put it back down. So he's going to see you take it off the hook, and then he might go, ah. Then you're going to put it right back on the hook and reward him. So it's a quick second. We don't want it to be off the hook too long because we don't want him to get over aroused. We want him to get it right. So take it off the hook, give him a nice big, you don't even have to say yes, just take it off the hook, put it right back on, and then give him a reward for that.
Good quiet. Good quiet. Good quiet.
Nice.
Good quiet.
Good. And make sure you hide your goodies behind your back so he's not focusing on that. That'll let him look around more at what's going on.
Kelly, what's the name of that treat?
The Doggone Good Rapids Reward Training Pouch. It's a mile-long name. It's a terribly long name, but it's a fantastic pouch. I'll email it to you also.
Oh, okay, because I was going to look for it on Amazon.
Yeah, you can definitely look for it if you want now. It's the Doggone Good Rapids Reward Pouch.
Doggone Good Rapid Reward.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, see how he's paying more attention now that the treats are hidden? Nice. What a good dog. Excellent. Good. Now, for this next set of 5, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you take the leash off the hook, and I'm going to have you hold it there for 2 seconds. So instead of taking it off and put it right back on, you're going to hold it. 1, 2, put it back. So that excitement of it standing there and we're going to make it come closer eventually, but we're going to do some impulse control up above, because if we get closer to him, it's going to elicit more of a response. So we want to work in small chunks so we can help him get it right. So you'll take it off the hook, hold it for about 2 seconds, and then put it right back. Good.
Tomorrow.
What was that?
It'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, perfect. Nice.
Yeah, it seems like he's paying more attention to her hand than...
Yeah, that's why the treat pouch works well. Once she hides them behind her back, he does start looking around a little bit more. Don't worry too much right now if he's paying more attention to her. It's good that he's paying attention to her because he's not really caring about the leash. And this is
I
helping.
just really wanted you to see... I wanted you to see the way he reacted.
Yeah, and I get it. I actually had a dog that I had to work with. When I would feed her, she was very enthusiastic, and she would run and spin and bark the entire time to her feeding area. That's not fun or cute.
So you kind of get it.
Oh, I totally get it. I've seen lots and lots of dogs, and people have actually sent me videos before we've worked together of their dogs, you know, doing these behaviors. So I definitely have seen them in many different dogs to varying degrees of craziness. And I had to work with Bryn when that dog was not going to miss a meal. She would get excited the whole time we were getting ready to prepare her meal. She would get excited while we were trying to feed her meal, and we had to work on this impulse control with her. Otherwise, you know, who wants to live with that, right?
Exactly. That's how
Yeah.
if he doesn't react this way and he reacts the other way tonight, I'll actually videotape it and send it to you.
Yeah, that's fine. And so now when you're doing your normal routine, he may do it because he knows what's coming next. Right now, we want to make sure when we practice these exercises, we're practicing them outside of his normal time so he can get the new routine and he can figure out what he's supposed to do in those moments. And we're going to work on that with him a little bit more, but we've got to set a good foundation first. We can't just, you know, if a dog is doing X, we can't usually just start at X. We've got to start at the level the dog can learn, because if the dog's over threshold and barking and lunging, they can't learn in that moment. Their brain is going too much. It's equivalent to you being really upset about something and somebody asking you to do something in that moment. You're not going to be able to do it because whether you're too upset, emotionally upset, or you're too excited, you know, you're just not gonna be able to retain that information and understand when it's all done and said, you're gonna go, wait, what did they say? what was it that you
Yeah, I
wanted?
get that.
Yeah. All right, good. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you take the leash off the hook, and I'm gonna have you lower it to him about halfway between the hook and him, not too close to him because we don't want him to go. We're gonna start bringing it to him. We're gonna do it. We're breaking it down very slowly for him. So go ahead, take it off the hook and bring it down like you're gonna put it on only about halfway. Good. Reward. Good. So reward him when you're getting ready to bring it back up, because when we lower it, he's doing great. Let's reward him in that moment and then put it back up. Because if we bring it down and then we put it up, since we're further away, it's going to take longer to get to the hook, which means it's going to take a lot longer to get his reward. So let's reward him for the calm behavior with the leash near him. Good. So reward him for that and then put it back. Good. Now keep your goodies hidden. Go ahead, take it off. Bring it closer like you're going to put it on, and then reward him. Good, and put it back up. Excellent. Going to do that 5 more times.
Need more treats?
Wait, Target, can I have the card? Oh. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well. I just wanted to get it over with. Okay. Can I get a new pair of these? Please.
Can we maybe not think about you for 5 minutes?
What do you need?
Yeah. You got the card?
Oh,
I'd say he's focused.
Yep. Good. Good. And Tina, I'm going to have you grab the collar while Louise is doing this.
okay. Should I give it to her?
Right when she's done with her last exercise, I'll have you bring it on over to her.
He's focused on the
Yeah, so hide that behind your back.
Collar.
Yep, hide the collar behind your back. Good. Good. Excellent. Good. Okay, good. So go ahead, Tina. You can put Louise, you can put that up. Now, Tina, what I'm going to have you do is stay right where you are. I am going to have you pull that collar out when I tell you, like you're going to walk down the hallway and give it to Louise. And Louise, I am going to have you reward him the entire time he's watching Tina bring that down the hallway. So he's going to be calmer and he's going to get rewarded for that calm behavior. So go ahead, you can start bringing it over. If he sees it, you can reward him. Good. You can put that up on the hook. Good. Good.
Wow.
So I saw how he immediately looked at that and he was like, that's my collar, that's my collar. And he's going to get all, he might have gotten excited. So we wanted to figure out a way to get it there without him getting all excited. We want him to be able to learn. Good. Now I'm going to have you do
Touch
this.
that collar.
Yeah, because he knows it means good stuff happens. So I'm now going to have you pretend you're reaching for the collar. Don't pick it up. Just reach towards it because now he sees the collar. Good. Do that 5 times and reward. Good. You're going to do that 5 times. Good.
He's confused.
Yeah. He's learning a new game. Every dog is a little bit unsure of what we're doing when we put a new game in play. Because this is not his normal game. The normal game is I sing to you while you pee, and then I serenade you all the way to my leash and collar, and that's the game. We're changing a new game. Good. Now, you're going to pick it up for a quick second and put it back. So you're like you're getting it, but you're not. So you're going to pick it up and put it right back. Good. Reward that. You're going to do it 5 times.
I don't blame you.
And then the next set of 5, I'm going to have you pick it up, and I'm going to have you hold it about 2 seconds like you did before with the leash. And then you're going to reward him, not after you put it on the hook, because this might get exciting for him. So I'm going to have you hold it for 2 seconds, reward him, then put it back. Good. Nice. Go ahead, put it back. Good. Now go ahead, pick it up. Reward. Good. Excellent. And go ahead, put it back. Good. You're gonna do that 3 more times. Great. Now you're gonna walk away, come back this way. Good. Now you're gonna wait about 10 seconds. Then you're gonna walk back down the hallway, reward him for quiet along the way. Then you're gonna pick up the leash and put it about half the collar, and you're gonna bring it about halfway to him, like you're gonna put it on, reward him, then put it back. So we're gonna wait about 10 seconds to let him reset a little bit.
He just burped. Good quiet.
So a little tip also that you can do, if he's a little chompy when he takes treats, you can get those baby food pouches that have the baby food in those, to-go pouches. They don't have a lot of glass jars anymore or whatnot. You can use that as well, because then he won't get your fingers. So you can find some good flavors, put that in your treat pouch. Instead of reaching for a single treat, you pull out the pouch, you let him lick a little off of that nozzle, put it back in your pouch. And then you just kind of squeeze it like a tube of toothpaste as it starts getting lower, so you can squeeze out a little bit more. So you can try that if you want as well. I do that with some dogs that are really, really sharky, because I'll have bloody fingertips if I don't.
Good quiet. Good quiet.
Good. Good. Go ahead and reward, and then put it back. Good. Do that 4 more times.
See him looking?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he's gonna get fat.
So what we do during training is we just make sure that we help balance out the calories during the day. If you're working on a lot of training in one particular day, you just want to ease up one of his meals. Or if you're going to work on training throughout the day, ease up both meals to help with the calories. Calories in, calories out, just like humans. I always like to use the cruise ship as an example. I go on the cruise ship, I eat, at my meals, and then I get extra stuff because I can have 2 desserts if I want to. I go to the midnight buffets, I come home, I put on my jeans, and I'm like, whoa, somebody shrunk my jeans while I was gone. It's because I was eating more than I normally do in the course of a day. So, good boy. This is going to be mentally tiring for him. It doesn't seem like he's doing much. He's learning an awful lot. This is mentally taxing for dogs. Sometimes when I work with people, they tell me the best day they have with their obnoxious dog or their rambunctious puppy is the day that we did training, because the dog had to work and mentally use that brain power, so the dog is exhausted. It's like when you go to a conference or a workshop. You didn't do anything except enjoy the coffee and the free bagels, but you are exhausted when you leave because you're trying to absorb all that information. Good. Okay, so we're going to amp it up a little bit here. What we're going to do is, it's going to be a little bit trickier because you've got your treats and I want 2 hands for a collar. So let's see. Is there a little table in the hallway there?
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm going to have you do is put your goodies in that. Is it close enough to the to the collar and leash?
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you put a little container there, but put it back far enough. And this is not 100% ideal because we don't want him to jump up or focus on this, but we need two hands. So we're going to do this until you get a pouch. Good. Excellent. Good. Now what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you pick that up. I'm going to have you pretend you're putting it around his neck, but you're not going to completely fasten it. You're going to bend over like you're putting it on, but don't even put it around his neck. Just make the motion of the bending and the leaning, and it's coming towards him. Small spaces, small steps. So go ahead and pick it up. Pretend you're going to put it on. Now a quick treat. Good.
Wow.
Nice. Good. Beautiful. Quick treat. And then we're going to give him that. Good. So I'm actually going to have you start marking with a word. We're going to say yes, because when we're training, a marker means what you did right now was what I was looking for. So if we say yes, it marks the behavior and then the reward follows. Some of the things we're doing now, we're actually going a little faster than I thought we were going to be able to. Some of the things we're doing now, there's a little bit of a longer pause between what we're doing and being able to give him the reward because we're taking a little bit more time with bigger steps. We don't want him to get antsy in between. We want him to know that what he did right then and there was great and the reward's coming. So if we say yes and then reward, he'll know that when he hears the yes, what he did was right and his paycheck is coming. So he won't start getting antsy and a little bit, jumpy or a little bit mouthy or barky or whiny. He'll be like, oh, I did it, so my paycheck's coming. So next time you lean over to do his collar and he doesn't react and he did a great job, say yes, then go get his treat.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Nice.
All right.
Needs to sit.
Yep, wait for that sit. There we go. Beautiful. Now, excellent. Now, what might happen is in that moment, what I would do is if he was having trouble, we don't want to lose him and have him because he was standing, he might be a little bit more excited. We don't want him to start singing his song to us. What we can do is while we're waiting for the sit, give him a second or two to do it. If he can't do it, don't pause too long because as he's learning this new thing, he might not be able to sit like he normally does because we're changing the game and we're amping up the difficulty to what his routine normally is. So if he can't sit right away, give him a second or two to think about it. If he can't do it, help him, but don't ask him. Take your hand close to his nose with a treat and raise it slightly above his head slowly so he follows it. That'll help lure him into a sit. This way we're showing him what we want him to do in that moment. We're helping him, but we're taking the training wheels off and we're not telling him what to do and doing it for him. We're just giving him a little bit of a helping hand. Good. So I'm going to have you walk back down the hallway, wait 10 seconds, and then go back and do another set of 5 with this. And when you're practicing this, I'm going to have you work with him in that area. And then you're going to walk away and come back again because we don't want to just stay there and work. We also want to incorporate the walking down the hallway. And by doing that, by leaving the training area and walking down the hallway, we're giving him a little bit of a break and to reset as well. And we're shaking it up. It's not like, okay, I'm sitting here and I'm working. We leave, we reset, and then he's like, what are we doing now? Is this the real walk? No? Okay. He's like, Mom, it's right there.
No, he's making the
Mom.
treat.
And now you might have to just help him. And there we go. Beautiful. Nice. Good. Beautiful. What a good job, Rhodes.
Yes. Yes.
Good. And let's just do the yes while you're still there at the collar. Make sure the yes comes in that moment that he didn't overreact. So right before you pull it away, make sure you give right there. Yes, perfect. Yep. Because we want him to know that that moment of getting ready to attach the collar, he did stellar. Good. Nice, beautiful.
Yes.
Lovely.
Sorry.
Nice, beautiful work.
Yes.
Good. All right. Now for the next set of 5, you're going to take it and you're going to not latch it, but you're going to kind of put it around like you're going to put it on him, but you're not going to latch it or anything. You're just going to pretend you're going through that motion of getting it up close to him and a little bit more around his neck. Great big yes in that moment when you're doing that, right when you get to that point where you're putting it on, but not quite. Yes. Then reward him.
Yes.
Beautiful. What a good boy.
Just throwing stuff now.
Sorry.
The fingers are taking a beating.
Yes.
Nice.
Even put his head down.
Yes. Yes.
Good. Now, is that a buckle or a snap collar?
Buckle.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that was fine.
Okay, good. Excellent. So you can come back this way. Good job, Brody. Good. Excellent. All right. So any questions on how we're working with him right now? Now, what would you think would be the next progression when you're working on this on your own?
I would think put the collar on him, take it off.
Very good. So what you're going to do is, and that's why I asked if it was a buckle or a snap, because the buckle is a little bit trickier because you don't just have a doink and click. You've got more of a, I got to get it through the buckle, and then I got to put the little thing through the hole, and then I got to put the little strap through the other part. When you're doing this next part, you're going to just put it through the buckle and not completely fasten it, because that's a long time to linger and play.
Yeah.
So to break it down smaller, you're just going to put it through the little buckle piece, reward him, take it off. Put it on, put it through, reward him, take it off. So excellent. Now, when you practice this later, you're not going to go straight to the next step, which would be buckling, because he's probably going to forget a good portion of what he's done, and he's going to be in, I'm getting ready for my walk mode. So when you practice, you don't have to go right back to reaching for the collar. You might want to do a couple of warm-ups. When you practice later, you could do a few warm-ups where you just do, I'm reaching for the collar a few times and rewarding. Now I pick it up a couple times and I'm rewarding. I'm pretending I'm going to put it on and I'm rewarding. So do a few warm-ups to get him to know that that's the game we're playing. Just don't go right for the collar and buckling, because again, he's going to not remember everything we did. We've got to help him out. Anytime we're practicing, we typically start at the last step that we did. So for him, that was getting ready to put it on him, but not latching it yet. That might be too exciting. So you might want to back up one more step where you're pretending to put it on and you're leaning over, and work there for a few minutes. Then go to pretend you're putting it on, then go to the next step. So we never just, start where we left off. So if I was teaching my dog, sit, stay, and I could do 10 steps backwards while I'm practicing, but then I didn't practice for the rest of the day, or I was going to practice later, or maybe not till tomorrow, I'm going to start at maybe doing only 5 steps. Do that a bunch of times so he can get it right and warm up.
Yeah.
then start where I left off, and then go ahead and start making it harder. So I never just start making it harder on each session. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Now,
What if before you go there, so later on, if I'll practice with them before I actually take them out.
Yep.
What if as soon as I start to practice with him, I just do my normal routine and he starts going nuts?
Yeah. So when you're practicing and it's not going to be his normal, you went to the bathroom and taking him out, he may be, as you put it, confused because it's a new game. He doesn't know what this game is. He may or may not react. If later you're going to kind of do more of your normal routine, what you're going to do is when you go to the bathroom, think ahead of time of what you can give to him. We're going to shift his routine around slightly. Actually, we might do one of two things. So the bathroom that you use, is that here on this floor?
Literally right there, right across
Okay.
the leash.
All right. So what I think I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you use the bathroom upstairs.
Okay.
We're going to shift his routine around a little bit.
He's better. I actually tried that to try to avoid the barking.
Mm-hmm.
It helps a little bit. He gets a little more, he's unsure.
Okay. All right. So we can actually back it up a little bit before and change the routine a little bit more. When you're working and you're almost done working, don't just finish and get up. Maybe about 15 or 20 minutes before you're done working, get up, go to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Just be in the kitchen for 5-7 seconds. Come back, sit down, do a little bit more work, get up, go somewhere else, come back. Just don't go down the hallway.
Right.
He's not going to, we're changing his routine a little bit. We're monkeying around with what he knows, and we're trying to help remove some of those triggers that are going to get him excited. So see if varying that up works a little bit.
Okay.
Another thing that you can do is when you're getting ready to get up and go to the bathroom, I'd like to see what he does when you vary the routine, but something else you can try and do, but not at the same time. Let's see how one works, and then we can try another thing. Have something awesome for him, something he loves, not something he thinks is pretty okay, something he loves. Have that ready for him, give it to him, then go to the bathroom. So that way what we're going to do is we're going to interrupt what he would normally do. We're going to interrupt that whole routine, and we're going to distract him with something else. Then you're going to go to the bathroom. Then let's see what he does. So report back to me and let me know how that goes. And we may have to desensitize the going into the bathroom part, but right now I wanted to get you working on the leash and the collar.
That's the main problem.
Yeah. Because
it starts when I go in the bathroom. That's when and I can't stop him because I'm
exactly. So we may be able to start with the calmness at the collar, which means I'm going out. And that may help on the back end eliminate some of the excitement about the bathroom, because that's ultimately leading to the collar and the leash. So that may help while we work on this, eliminate some of that and one less step to work on. So if we can eliminate that for you, I will. If not, we're going to see how we can change the routine up and help them along the way.
Okay.
Excellent. Now, let me know how that goes. We can monkey things around a little bit more for him and make it a little bit different to help him so we can get this to go. Now, recognize that when you want to take him out later, he's most likely not going to be able to do this awesome because it's a different game and he knows the rules to that game. He's learning the rules to a new game, but he doesn't have them down yet. He's never going to have it down in just, a 1 hour session. It's going to take time and practice and routine. Excellent. Good. Very good. So yeah, let me know how it goes today. Shoot me off a message. Let me know if he did better as you were walking down the hallway. And you can do that with the treats when you're walking down the hallway, even at 3 o'clock or whatever the time is. Have some goodies ready and reward him going down the hallway before he starts barking. You can even start playing the game earlier when you get up at the laptop. Have some goodies ready. You get up, you just drop a couple on the floor. Drop a couple. He'll be like, what the heck is this? Walk a few steps, drop a couple more. Walk a few steps, drop a couple more. He'll be busy playing Hoover, vacuum. And what he's learning is walking towards the door makes good stuff happen in a different way. Not, it's a crazy circus.
Yeah.
Good. So any questions on what we did? Any concerns? Any thoughts?
No, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. and I think he did well. So
He did fantastic.
the question will be how he'll do later.
Yeah. And
But
again, we can't expect him
practice
to
with
do
him.
this at 3:00. That's a different thing. We're getting ready for the Olympics. We're preparing.
So I could practice with him a few times before we then get him all ready and take him out.
Yeah. Because the more we practice with him, he's not sure if this is the real walk or not.
Yeah.
If we only practice on the real walk, it's harder because he's all jazzed up.
Excited,
But if we practice outside of that, he's not sure what the heck we're doing. Is this the real walk? No. Is this the real walk? No. Is this the real walk? No. Okay. So the more we do this, the more it's actually helping him so we can prepare for that Olympic moment.
Okay.
Excellent.
Good.
Very good. Wonderful. Great work. Wonderful work with your timing with everything that you did. The only thing we need to do is just keep those treats hidden. A little harder in the summer because we don't usually have big pockets like a jacket or a sweater or a sweatshirt. So that treat pouch will be really handy. And that will also help when you're doing your walking outside because he's not going to focus as much on your hand. It'll be in the pouch. Now he's going to know you still have them because, well, dogs aren't dumb. They have noses and they sniff. But just because you have it dangling off your hip doesn't mean he's getting anything. Right. So it becomes like, it just becomes like something that you wear, like your pants or your shoes or a belt. Dogs know that it's there. Like I can put mine on and my dogs won't be fazed in the slightest. But if I got a new puppy today, that puppy would be like, treat pouch, treat pouch, treat pouch. It smells great. After a few sessions, puppy would be like, all right, it's just a piece of accessory.
That's actually a really good point. I forgot about it because we're not wearing jackets right now. But another trigger for him is me going in because everything happens in the hall. I just dawned on me.
Right. Yeah, the hallway's exciting. We're gonna make it a little more boring.
But there's our coat closet is there. So when you start having to put a coat on, that even beyond the bathroom, now that's another trigger because I'm putting it on, and it's another thing that
Act like you're putting it on.
Right. Yeah, and hopefully as we work with his leash and collar, because that's where that real excitement happens.
Yeah.
Some of these other things may fade by the wayside because they're no longer the predictor of the excitement.
Yeah.
Because you've worked on the excited part.
Yeah.
So we get him okay at this part, and then we may or may not have to work on some of those or all of those. We may not have to work on them very much. Some might just fall by the wayside, or we might need to help a little bit with something and not something else. So we'll definitely address that. When you're playing this game with him, what you can do is when you're resetting, because you're going to work a little bit, then you're going to come back down the hallway, and then you're going to go back down the hallway and do some more repetitions. Again, we want to give him that break, and we also want to work on the walking down the hallway part. You can switch it up and say, okay, I'm done with this set of 5. Now I'm going to go over to the coat closet, open it and close it, and then I'm going to come back to the leash. See what he does.
Mm-hmm.
If anything,
interesting to see.
We're just going to desensitize it a little bit. We don't have to give him anything for it. We're just going to be like, look, I'm looking in the magic box. I close the door, I come back. So you can incorporate that as part of your reset as well and see how he does. Now, if you go over there and you open the door and he has this, big excited reaction, don't keep doing it. Let me know, and we'll either eliminate that because it's not something you need to work on right now and come up with a new plan.
Okay. Yeah, because we need coats by the end of the week, so it may not happen naturally. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, excellent. Great work. So as many times as you can practice during the day. If you can practice 2 times during the day, great. If you could practice 5 times during the day, fantastic. You don't have to work for as long as we did. You can do 5 minutes here, 7 minutes there, 5 minutes here. I'd rather see you or anybody else train in 5-7 minute increments rather than trying to work for a really long time because it gets really tiring on the dog anyway. And they learn best in short bursts. So if you do 5 minutes, and this whole time we were training, he didn't work the whole time. He got some breaks. So he got breaks. So you'll find more time to train if you only say, I need 5 minutes. Because if you said I have to train for an hour, well, we just go, well, I'm not going to do it because I don't have an hour. So 5 minute increments is going to be best for his brain to absorb the information and not stress him out too much and get that information going. Dogs learn best in short increments. So 5 minutes here, 7 minutes there, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. you can get 5 or 6 of that in the course of the day. And then you've only really spent a total of 30 minutes training.
Okay, good.
Excellent. Good. Very
Good.
good. So I can't wait to hear how it goes. So keep me updated. We'll get a session together for next week.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
All right, thank you.
Too, thanks.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.